Hey guys, it's Eric, owner of Farpoint Farms here in the mountains, North Carolina, and today I am going to do a follow-up video. That's right, I have my Harbor Freight scissor lift. It has been just shy of 1 year of ownership. I've probably put about 70 cars on this thing, working from the house on the weekends. Also been working on restoring my Rabbit and also done some other work with it. I've done some undercoating. In fact, you can probably see the stains on my hands. I was just doing some undercoating, so I took the time to clean the paint off of this thing when I got done. Figured it was a good time to go ahead and let you know, now that I've owned it for a year, what my thoughts are. I've been a mechanic for almost 30 years now, and of course I'm kind of stepping away from the industry as an active participant, but I am still working at a, kind of more of a teaching type level right now. But I do a lot of work here at the house, and it's getting old. When I did the Yugo a couple years ago, we were doing that all on the ground with jack stands. That was what pushed me over the edge to purchase this thing. And after 1 year, and like I said, close to 70 cars, I can say that it was totally worth it. It is a safe piece of machinery. It is, I know it looks unstable, it looks inherently dangerous, but I'm here to tell you that that could not be farther from the truth. It has held up extremely well. In fact, it looks really clean right now because I just cleaned it off. I had some mineral spirits and I was wiping all the undercoating overspray that's been on this thing. I've actually undercoated 3 cars on this thing, so it was really looking rough. Figured it was a good time to paint it before the weather changes. I've still got the doors open in here. But take a look at this thing. It is exactly what I expected out of a lift. It doesn't go all the way up, but neither does my ceiling. I'm able to get up underneath and do exhaust work, do rear end work. I'm able to get in the front, do my oil changes, do transmission work. If I wanted to take an engine out, I could. In between here, I've got plenty of space. I can crawl up in there and get to stuff. If it was a rear-wheel drive vehicle, not a problem. There's spacers. You put the spacers on, add a 12-inch spacer. It gives you access to the drive shaft, stuff like that. No complaints. Really enjoy it. I was worried that this thing would give me some serious shortcomings. I was worried that this thing would not allow me to do all the things I needed to do. I'm here to tell you, after a year of ownership, if you're a mechanic or a homeowner who does a lot of side jobs, this is going to get you through, I'd say, 90 to 95% of what you need to do. The exception that I can think of off the top of my head of what you wouldn't be able to do with this would be to do a transmission on a rear-wheel drive vehicle. That would pretty much be the only thing, and of course I haven't done that, so I can't say it for sure, that I think would just be impossible with the equipment here. As far as problems, I've had none. The rubber on these things, and I'll get the camera off here and show you closer, but the rubber on these has held up extremely well. I'd say about 90% of the work I've done is on unibody, so the pinch weld hasn't cut into the rubber or damaged it in any way. The slides still slide, these things still move nicely. The paint, it's held up pretty well. Again, I had paint all over this thing, so I wiped it down. It's really the first chance I've had a chance to look at it and see how it's doing. Yeah, there's some scrapes here where this slides around, but that's to be expected. No rust showing up, no cracks showing up, no component failures. The hydraulic cylinders are still working fine. I see no evidence of leakage. The hoses are holding up well. The safety mechanism seems fine. I mean, I can't complain about it. It works well. This is a 220 unit, so it does flicker the lights when I push the button, but I do have it on a dedicated circuit. Haven't had any issues with that. Most of the time it sits in here. I do have a car on it because when I'm not working on cars that I'm earning a living on, I do have my project cars that I'm on, playing with in here. So it usually sits, in the mid-rise position. Maybe not all the way up, but overall, I'm extremely happy. I'm going to go ahead and get the camera off the tripod. I'll show you up close, the condition of it after a year. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to answer them, all right? Let's take a look. 91315. It is a 220 model. Some I know earlier ones were out there were 120. But I think, honestly, a lot of these things are going to be very similar in nature. I did have to add those metal brackets there. My floor wasn't completely level, and so I just cut some steel plating and added it in there. That worked well. This scissor pin here, these things are holding up beautifully. No loop points, which was kind of interesting, but I guess the amount of times they go up and down is relatively low if you really do it in the grand scheme of things. These parts here, no rust, no leakage. You can see the seals are fine after a year. Now, I did get the extended 3-year warranty, but haven't had to replace anything on this, which is nice. The paint's really held up well considering. As you come down here, you can see I have not moved this thing in or out since purchasing it. Once I got it set up, that was pretty much it. And as you can see, I've got this wood here Those were add-ons. So I do have a Honda Civic, and it does not clear this thing, so I put the boards in there, and that helps clear it. All the other cars do clear it though. So that's it. The paint, you can see right here what I'm talking about with scratches. So when you swivel this thing back and forth, yeah, you're going to get some scratches on there. But overall, I'm very happy with that. It's held up well. A couple spots I'm looking here I missed with, yeah, you can see where the undercoating overspray is still on that little spot there. But yeah, it's pretty good. Here's the pegs. The rubber's still good. You can see some spots where maybe some indentations, but considering not bad. The wheels have held up extremely well. I know there's another model out there, I think the bend-pac, that has double wheels, or maybe the Atlas. Haven't seen any reason that I would need that. No damage to the concrete. Well, I take that back. There's one little spot, and I'm probably going to put a piece of wood there that is kind of that pivot point right there. Let me zoom in on that. You can see just a little bit of dust there. That's just a rolling point. It rolls maybe 1/4 of an inch, but it is digging in there, so I'll go ahead and fix that at some point. But overall, yeah, man, I'm super happy. The unit itself, no leaks. Follow the cabling over here. And there we go. It's tucked in the corner. And again, no issues with it. It's working fine. The locks work. The hydraulics work. The electric works. I did add my own 220 plug there, so it's just on that one segment. It's got its own fuse in the fuse box. So really no complaints, guys. None. Very happy with it. Would I love a full 2-post or 4-post lift that went all the way to the ceiling? Sure. Have I gotten totally 100% used to this thing and learned that, you know what? In fact, I kind of like working from the seat over here. This is kind of nice, man. You know, I just have my little roll seat, so I'm not standing all day long when I'm working out here. So I'm really kind of liking it. Getting old is great, isn't it? Anyway, that's it. I am Eric, the owner of Farpoint Farms. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, perhaps you will think about liking and subscribing, and I'll see you next time. Take care.
There's always something that needs a little fixing on Farpoint Farms. Freedom is mighty sweet.